So, is it possible to be fluent in a language by yourself? Let's answer that question here. So, if you're really motivated to learn a language, learning the basics of a language is completely possible to do by yourself. This is why, whenever I start to learn a new language from zero, I usually just rely on the internet and my Google searching abilities to get started. This is because a lot of basic stuff in a language is just so widely available on the internet that you can just really get for free. So, in the beginning, I prefer not to be too troubled with looking for other people or looking for a teacher to teach me the basic stuff, because a lot of the times I can teach myself the basic stuff. So even with speaking skills, as a beginner, I can do that by myself. I can talk to myself in the mirror, or I can record myself. I can mimic native speakers that I see from videos or something. So as a beginner, starting to learn a language by yourself is actually quite possible. However, comes a time where you actually do need to rely on other people to get your language to the next level. Because the thing is, the goal of learning a language is to be able to communicate, right? And usually, normally when you communicate, you need at least two people for communication to happen. Although not always. Now that in the YouTube era, I'm actually communicating with you guys, but in reality, I'm just talking to myself and to an inanimate object camera here. But in a way, you know what I mean. So yes, eventually you do need to rely on other people to get better, especially when it comes to building your confidence in your speaking abilities. If your end goal is to be able to speak confidently with native speakers, then you cannot really rely on yourself to build that confidence, because confidence is built by doing that thing repeatedly. So in order to get good at speaking with native speakers, then you're going to have to speak with native speakers repeatedly. And of course, this way, you cannot really do it alone. And then this way, then you would either have to go look for a tutor or to find a language partner or something like that. So learning a language alone is completely possible up until a point where you have to build your speaking confidence talking to real people. If your goal is to talk to real people, then you're gonna need real people to speak with. So in my premium coaching program ESA, made for intermediate learners, I actually talk about the different levels of speaking confidence for language learners. So by the way, if you guys fit this criteria, I welcome you guys to apply for the program. I think the next batch will start in August, so I encourage you to apply as soon as you can, because I have a lot of people applying and it's just a little overwhelming. So do apply here while you can. If you're interested, check out the website here, and let's get back to the video. So I came up with this concept of different levels of speaking confidence. So when it comes to developing your speaking confidence, there is this thing called low pressure environment and high pressure environment. So low pressure environment in which you can practice your speaking skills include having inner dialogues with yourself or speaking to yourself out loud. And then next level is to record yourself in a camera like this, because it adds a bit more pressure. So a level above that is actually talking to other learners of English or other target languages that you're learning, because then it gives you a bit more pressure to talk to other people, but at least you can take comfort in the fact that they're also learning, so they kind of understand where you're coming from and your nervousness in speaking in your target language or in English. So speaking with other language learners is actually a good place to start if you want to slowly build your confidence to speak your target language with other people. So a level beyond that is to speak with fluent non-natives. So that would be kind of like me. I'm a non-native English speaker, but I am fluent. So if you are learning English and then you feel quite comfortable speaking with other English learners, then next level to that would be speaking with someone like me, who's not really a native speaker, but you feel more comfortable speaking with me because you know that I have been through the process of learning English. So I kind of understand where you're coming from, and my accent and my language is a lot easier to understand. So it's definitely a little bit more challenging than speaking with other language learners to speak with someone like me, a fluent non-native speaker. Then the next level, the highest level there is to be able to speak with native speakers. So I would say this is the highest pressure environment that you can put yourself in to really build your confidence. Of course, speaking with native speakers makes you feel a little bit more nervous, right? Because you're also a bit afraid that you won't be able to catch everything they say, or they won't be able to understand your accent, yada yada yada. That's why it's high pressure. So of course, as a beginner, when you're just starting out, it's a good idea to start small first, having inner dialogues in English, speaking to yourself, speaking with a camera or whatever by yourself, because it's the lowest pressure environment. These things you can do by yourself. However, if your goal is to build your confidence to speak with others, then you're gonna have to slowly level up by speaking with other learners, with fluent non-natives, and with native speaker. And these things you cannot do alone. You're gonna have to find another person, be it a tutor or a language partner, to build that confidence. So the short answer to my video is that you can definitely become fluent in your language without having to rely on other people, but only to a certain level. So I hope that helps, guys. I hope that this clarifies a lot of your doubts, and I hope you guys learned something new. If you guys like it, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next week in another video. Until then, goodbye and take care. Bye.